Jessica Horn, born 1979, is an African feminist activist, writer, poet, and technical advisor on women's rights with roots in Uganda. Her work focuses on women's rights, bodily autonomy and freedom from violence, and African feminist movement building. She was named as an African woman changemaker by Arise magazine and as one of Applause Africa's 40 Africans Changemakers under 40. She joined the African Women's Development Fund as Director of Programs in October 2015. Early life and education. Horn was born in England to a Ugandan mother and father from the United States, and grew up in Lesotho and Fiji. She completed her international baccalaureate at the Arm & Hammer United World College of the American West. She earned a Bachelor of Arts degree, magna cum laude, in anthropology from Smith College in 2001 and a Master of Science distinction degree in gender and development from the London School of Economics in 2002. Career. Horn began her formal career in women's rights at the organization RAINBO, where she worked as coordinator of Amanatare, the African Network on Sexual and Reproductive Rights. She went on to manage funding for women's rights and minority rights at the Sigrid Rousing Trust, one of the largest private human rights funders in Europe. She then went on to found Akiki Consulting, where she worked with human rights funders, policy institutions, and activist organizations, including the Stephen Louis Foundation, the International Rescue Committee, ActionAid, the Association for Women's Rights in Development, Ford Foundation East Africa, and the United Nations. This included extensive travel and work in conflict-affected countries in Africa. She is the Director of Programs at the African Women's Development Fund. As an action researcher, Horn was awarded a Soros Reproductive Health and Rights Fellowship in 2003 and conducted research on feminist responses to female genital mutilation in Egypt. She wrote 2 monographs on the impact of Christian fundamentalism on women's rights in Africa for the Association for Women's Rights in Development, AWID. Challenging Religious Fundamentalism's Initiative. She is the lead author of the Cutting Edge Pack on Gender and Social Movements produced by Bridge at the Institute for Development Studies, University of Sussex in 2013. Horn has served as an advisor to philanthropic and women's rights initiatives including Mama Cash, Urgent Action Fund Africa, Comic Relief, the King's College Conflict, Security and Development Group, Knowledge Building and Mentoring Program, and the journal Development. She worked as commissioning editor of Our Africa on Open Democracy 5050 from 2011 to 2015. She is a founder member of the African Feminist Forum Working Group. Poetry. Horn won the IRN Fanny Ann Eddy Poetry Prize in 2009 for her poem, They Have Killed Sizakale, and the Sojourner Poetry Prize judged by June Jordan in 2001 for her poem Dis U.N. for Rwanda. Her prose poem Dreamings was profiled in the International Museum of Women's online exhibition, Imagining Ourselves. She is also the author of a collection Speaking in Tongues, Mouthmark, 2006, which is included in the collected Mouthmark Book of Poetry alongside poets Warsan Shire, Malika Booker, and Anua Elams. Her work has been featured on the Pan-African poetry platform Badilisha Poetry Radio. As an activist poet, Horn has used poetry as a medium to discuss human rights abuses and explore the concept of revolutionary love, including through poetry platform The Love Mic. Selected publications. Research and analysis. Michaud, Laurie, Horn, Jessica, Bank, Amy, Dutt, Malika, and Zimmerman, Kathy. 2014. Prevention of Violence Against Women and Girls. Lessons from Practice. The Lancet. Horn, Jessica. 2013. Gender and Social Movements. Cutting Edge Pack. Bridge, Institute for Development Studies. University of Sussex. Horn, Jessica. 2012. Not as Simple as ABC. Christian Fundamentalisms and HIV/AIDS Responses in Africa. Toronto. Association for Women's Rights in Development. Horn, Jessica and Bisi Adelaye Fayemi. eds. 2009. Voice, Power and Soul. Portraits of African Feminists. Ghana. AWDF. ISBN 9789988125127. Horn, Jessica. 2009. Through the Looking Glass. Process and Power Within Feminist Movements in Development Volume 52.2 Power. Movements. Change. London. Sage Publishers. Society for International Development. Horn, Jessica. 2006. Rewriting the Sexual Body in Feminist Africa. Cape Town. African Gender Institute. Horn, Jessica. 2005. Not culture, but gender. Reconceptualizing female genital mutilation, cutting in where human rights begin. Health, Sexuality and Women 10 years after Vienna, Cairo, and Beijing. Chavkin, Wendy and Chesler. Ellen. eds. New Jersey. Rutgers University Press. ISBN 9780813536576. Poetry Collections. Speaking in Tongues. Flipped Eye Publishing Limited. 2006. ISBN 9781905233113. Speaking in Tongues in the Mouthmark Book of Poetry. Flipped Eye Publishing Limited. 2013. ISBN 9781905233151. Poems. A Night in Zanzibar. In Sylvia Tamali. ed. 2011. African Sexualities. A Reader. Fahamu, Pambazuka. ISBN 9780857490162. Uganda Haikus. Sunrise to 9 p.m. Quote, Sister, why do you run? Quote, Yee-yee-oh. Between a dancer and a drummer. Quote, Epidermal Offerings and Salt. Awards. Winner IRN Fanny Ann Eddy Prize 2009. Winner Sojourner Poetry Prize 2001. Articles by Jessica Horn.